Hey everybody, welcome to Slash Bash, where today I am bringing you another Choosing Beggar Reddit video. If you want your daily dose of Reddit stories that aren't accompanied by a robot voice, then now's the time to subscribe and click on notifications. In our first story, a Choosing Beggar author and politician scams an artist for free work. What is the world coming to if we can't even trust a politician anymore? Let's jump right in. This has fortunately been the only choosy beggar I have ever had to deal with in my 6+ years of being a fine artist. About 3 years ago, I was contacted to illustrate a children's book. The author is a well-known, well-respected professional and politician in my state, and the pay was $1,200 for about 20 pages of professional illustrations. This was my first children's book illustration gig, so I was stoked and was afraid to ask for half up front as I was a bit naive and intimidated. I completed all the illustrations, met with the author, and she went wild over it. She said she would be in touch about payment and when the book will be published. Fast forward about 5 months, she finally reaches out to say that the book wasn't able to get published and that she is upset as she was looking forward to it. So I'm like, oh, that sucks, but I'm still gonna get paid, right? Nope, she wasn't gonna pay me. I should have stood my ground and been adamant about getting paid. But I was a young artist and didn't want to burn a bridge with an accomplished author and professional, so I remained civil and chalked it up as a learning experience. She also claimed that she was going to help propel my career as an artist. She knows so many authors and will recommend me to everyone. I have never had any business referred from her. I think she was just lying to me to guilt and pressure me into continuing to do free work for her. I really should have cut my ties with this woman right then and there. Well, back in January, I was contacted to illustrate a political children's book for her. It wasn't really my kind of thing, but I agreed because I am now more experienced and not afraid to stand my ground and demand I get paid. The gig was $1,000 for 20 pages of artwork. Cool, but this time I demanded half up front and the other half when I completed the drawings. She agrees, and I get paid $500 cold hard buckaroonies. Awesome, this is going great so far. Or so I thought. I completed the 20 drawings, met up with her and the co-author. They went nuts over them. Said they're perfect, blah blah blah. I asked if anything needed to be changed and they said no. Cool. I was paid the rest of the $500. I thought this was a job well done and was glad I decided to give her another chance. Maybe the last book was just a fluke and she is actually good for her word. Nope. Fast forward to April. They need 4 additional pages done for the book. I said, cool, that will be an additional $200. She was flabbergasted. Excuse me? We already paid you $1,000 and you agreed to do the artwork for this book. You cannot ask for more money. She paid me to do 20 pages for $1,000. That is $50 a page, which is a hell of a lot cheaper than almost every other children's book illustrator I know. So I explained that I needed to be compensated for those extra 4 pages. She said she has no more money to give, which is bull because I know she is loaded, and that without those 4 drawings, we will not be able to complete the book. Again, stupid me, not wanting to burn a bridge with this well-known woman, obliged and decided to create the extra 4 pages. She was happy. Cool. Whatever, I still got $1,000 and another publication under my belt. This, however, was not the end. In August, she asked me to change 2 of the drawings I had already done. Now remember, I asked her back in January if anything needed to be changed and she said no, they're perfect. I told her that I was traveling during this time and I wouldn't be able to complete them until October and that I would only do them for $100. She, surprisingly, agreed to these stipulations. I come home, I get the artwork finished, and let her know it's done and tell her to please send over $50 before I email the artwork to her, as I had a feeling she wasn't going to pay me. I wait, and wait, and wait, and wait. No response until this evening. I get a text from her stating that she has not received my artwork and was wondering where it was. I tell her I had completed it and was waiting on half up front before I sent it over to her. She freaked out on me and claimed that she was maybe going to pay me for the extra work, but it wasn't a definite. Maybe? She was maybe going to pay me for my work. I about lost my stuff. She claimed I am unprofessional. She is disappointed in me and that she thought she was doing a young artist a favor. I replied, I don't do artwork with the promise of maybe getting paid. I then told her about all the previous times I was disrespected by her and felt as though I have been taken advantage of as a young artist. I told her I will no longer send over the artwork and for her not to worry about payment, and that our professional relationship ends here. I am still shaking from anger and fear as I'm afraid she can ruin my reputation among other authors and artists, but overall I'm glad I finally stood up for myself, even though it took about 3 years. Story number 2 shows us a landlord who learns the hard way that being too generous can backfire when you have choosing beggars around. I am a landlord. Having lived paycheck to paycheck and having worked 2 jobs most of my 20s and 30s, I finally saved up enough to invest in some real estate, flipped a couple of properties, and turned my second job into working for myself. And now at 50, I own a few rental units, but I still work a full-time job. I get the working class and what it is like struggling to have a place to live, truck to drive, and food to eat. My mother was single and raised me and my brother, and she struggled too. So as a landlord, I tend to be soft on people that were just like me at one time. I rented an apartment to a single mother. At first it was a couple, but the husband left for whatever reason and it was just her and the baby. She could not pay rent on time because she only got paid once a month. So I gave a little grace and changed the due date to the 7th and never charged her a late fee as long as she paid by the 15th. She could barely afford food, utilities, so I put ceiling fans in the unit to help keep it cool, and I had an old washer and dryer set from an older unit and I installed them in hers so she could wash her clothes. My wife also would sometimes babysit for her, and we also made sure she had diapers for the baby and food. In one of the other units was another couple. The husband worked and she stayed home. When they had a baby, I sent them a card with a $50 gift certificate and wished them well. I was not prepared for the response. She wanted to renegotiate the rent, wanted a brand new washer and dryer, ceiling fans, and complained the $50 gift certificate would not even cover diapers and formula for a month. So I ignored her. But then the rent started being late. After my letters were ignored, I made a courtesy call. She was indignant that I would ask her to pay rent on the 1st when other tenants could pay it on the 15th with no late fees. She was still demanding a washer and dryer, and not old used ones either. And she said I owed her for utilities since I did not furnish them with ceiling fans. Everything I had done for the single mother in the other unit, she felt I owed her. Again, I ignored her and sent a demand for rent on time or pay the late fees. A few months later, I am on the property doing my quarterly inspections, changing batteries and smoke detectors and new air conditioning filters, that type of stuff. The single mother won't even look me in the eye. She does not want to let me into the unit and is acting very odd. So I call my wife over and we ask to sit down and talk. It takes some effort, but the single mother finally told us she heard from the other neighbor that I had been inappropriate towards her and that I was buttering single mother up for other reasons. I was livid, but I calmly explained the reason I was helping her was that I was raised by a single mother and I was just paying it forward. I also told single mother about all the demands that crazy witch made with the rent and appliances. Single mother was shocked. I chose not to renew the lease for the crazy woman. Single mother stayed for a few more years before meeting someone new and she moved in with him. I still help folks that struggle, but I am very careful not to do too much since it causes rumors and problems. In our final story, a choosing beggar wants a deal on a TV and won't take no for an answer. About a year ago, I was selling a 36-inch TV for $150. I thought it was a fair price since the TV was originally $250, so I put on Facebook that I was selling it and a woman asked if she could have it. "Hello, I saw the ad for the TV and I was wondering if you could make the price a bit lower. Thank you for responding, but the lowest I'll go is $140. You're kidding, right? $140 for a 36-inch TV? Well, I originally bought it for $250, so I think that $140 is reasonable. How about $50 and a skateboard? Cash only, ma'am, and plus I don't even know how to use a skateboard. I'll give you $75. When should I come pick it up? You can't just come and pick it up for $75. I'll come pick it up right now." This witch actually came to my house and expected me to just give it to her. Just to clarify, I gave her my address earlier because I thought she was going to give me the $150. She pulls up to my house and asked where her TV was. Where is my TV? Wait, you actually think I'm going to give it to you? Yes, now here is the $75 I promised. She hands me the $75, but I handed it right back and explained that I was firm on $150. You made me drive all the way out here, so now you have to pay me $20 for gas. I was speechless. She thought I was going to pay her for no reason. So I went inside and didn't go back outside. After 5 minutes, she finally left, and a day later, I sold that TV to a nice man who actually gave me $150. This has been John from Slash Bash. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and want to see more of them, then hit that subscribe button. We'd love for you to drop a like, share it with your friends, and we will see you in the next one.